Hello. I thought I'd make a video on this watch that I previously spoke about in a different video, but as you can tell, I have made some modifications to it. Well, not myself. I had Duarte at Northeast Watchworks, located in Rhode Island, to do the work. He's good guy, honest guy, charges reasonable rates, and all in all, just great communication. Highly recommended if you need someone to do some work, especially on Seikos, which he seems to have tons of great experience with. So, a couple things about watch modding, what that I wanted to just freestyle about, and what I did to this one. So, watch modding, it's a cool way to make your watch truly your own. I don't think there's anyone on the planet with this exact combination of parts, although I guess it's not entirely impossible, but just very unlikely. I had a SKX 013 at one point that I thought about modding, but just given the cost of parts and how much modding, hits the wallet overall, it felt strange to perform modifications on a watch that wasn't well, one, I wasn't crazy about it, and two, it wasn't a very high-end watch, or not to say this one is, but it felt a little bit like people rising up their crappy little Civics. No offense if you have done that to your Civic. Civic's a great car. I just didn't want to invest money into a watch that I knew ultimately I'd be parting with. This watch I think is a keeper in my collection. Probably one that I won't be selling. I'm not going to say ever, but for a very long time, and I'll go into why. This watch is for me is a great size. The diameter is roughly 42 millimeters, but it's also 42 millimeters lug to lug. Really, really short lugs in this cushion case, so it fits my wrist very well. I like the watch's robustness. I like the accuracy. I like the way it looks, especially now with these mods. It has great lume. Basically, anything you could ask for in an everyday watch, I think the SRPC35 delivers in spades. So what did I do to this watch? The most obvious thing is the bezel insert. So I'm sorry, I got wood stain all over my hands. Sorry about that. So the first thing is the bezel insert. I replaced the stock black insert, which is made out of aluminum, I believe, with this stainless steel 12-hour insert from Yobokeys. Yobokeys? No idea how to say that. So prior to the pandemic, I traveled a fair bit for work. Often wore a GMT for that purpose, but actually I think a 12-hour bezel functions just as well, if not better, than a strange 24-hour pilot watch that my glycine is. So this watch now can track 2 time zones. I have it set to GMT plus 5 for Greenwich Mean Time. I have a couple of coworkers who work out of the UK, and it's always helpful to know what time it is there. It's roughly, it's 10:15 there. I think tracking a second time zone is very useful. Lord knows when I'll be in a different time zone next, but when things go back to normal, I will have to travel for work again, and they'll come in handy. I like the finishing on this insert. It's matches the case very well. The typeface used for the numbers isn't that annoying Rolex clone typeface you often see in aftermarket bezel inserts. It's just a very kind of plain and normal looking sans serif type of typeface used. It still has a lume pip at the 12 o'clock position. Now the lume pip isn't as strong as a lume on the rest of the dial. That's one thing I did notice. Not a big deal though. I don't need to read the time in the dark often, but it is something I thought I should point out. And the second modification that I had done was the crystal. So this stock watch comes with a Hardlex crystal with a Cyclops over the date. I was never too crazy about the crystal. The Cyclops especially was sort of one of those love-hate things. Some days I loved it, other days I didn't quite know what to feel about it, but it always felt a little bit out of place and a little bit clunky. Hardlex is great, I guess. I like Hardlex a lot. It doesn't get, I think it's often criticized for not being Sapphire, but For this mod, I did go get a double dome sapphire crystal. This is the CT056 from Crystal Times, and I'll put a link to these parts in the description. So if you guys want to see what parts I used, you can take a look down there. But this is a double dome sapphire crystal, so because it's double domed, which means it has a dome on the outside and on the inside, there is no distortion. You can read this watch pretty much from any angle. And unlike a single dome sapphire crystal, you should be able to see the time. Now, it's not as fun as a single dome crystal that kind of gets all crazy at an oblique angle like this one. But look at that. You can still see chapter ring. You can still see the pinion. Everything is just so clear. Crystal Time sells several versions of the CT056. I got the one with the purple anti-reflective coating, just because I think it's the most subtle. You can kind of see it along the edge of the crystal when I rotate the watch slightly like that. Very faint and hard to capture on a camera, actually. But in the reflection of the window, you can kind of see the purple there. Yeah. Overall, I think Sapphire's definitely added some clarity to the overall reading of the time. Much less reflective, of course, because of the coating. And I think the lack of the Cyclops also cleans it up and makes the watch just a little bit more plain and to the point. Now, overall, I think with the stainless steel bezel, this watch looks a lot more rugged than it used to. Like from afar, it just looks like a big slab of steel. I think it can be still be worn as an everyday watch. I like the way it looks now. I really enjoy kind of the toughened up nature of it. It doesn't seem to go with as many straps, strangely enough. Some straps which I thought previously looked really good on the watch now look a little bit odd, especially gray ones, because I think when you put a gray strap on the watch, there's just a lot of gray with nothing to break up. Nothing to break up kind of like the gray from the case and the gray of the strap. Whereas before you had a black insert, which broke up the gray of the case and a gray strap. So a lot of my gray straps no longer look as good, but black still works. Leather, obviously. I have yet to put it back on the bracelet, but I think a bracelet will still look fine. Now, many people will probably look at this and think that I'm just copying, Tudor's Black Bay heritage watch. And maybe I was subconsciously. I don't really know why I went with the stainless steel bezel. But I bought the crystal August 2019, and then I bought the stainless steel bezel insert. I think it was February or March 2020. It didn't come until June or July or something. Waited forever for it to come from Hong Kong. Had to ship the watch off to Rhode Island and Fort Duarte to put together. And yeah, now a year later, in September 2020, I have the watch back in my hand. So quite a long process to get this done. If I could do anything differently, I'd probably change out the hands. Yeah, I don't like the seconds hand on this watch. I've always felt the loom pip should be at the end of the watch, not on the counterbalance. I know why Seiko did this, because that's kind of in the same sort of design language as a lot of their other divers, but I really do prefer having the loom pip on the end. I think it just makes more sense to have it shown that way. But besides that, I think overall very happy with the watch. The action on the bezel is still as good as ever. Very satisfying clicks there. And yeah, that's it. Here it is. Here it is in back of my hand. I'm very happy to have it again. Yeah, it's gone for a little while for the mod, but now that it's been back, I've had it on my wrist every single day. So here it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments about watch modding in general, leave them down in the comments below. I know it destroys resale value, but like I said, I won't be. I don't think I'll be giving this one up anytime soon. All right, until next time, see you guys later.